In today's China, more and more young women are speaking out, or simply choosing silence, to send a clear message. They don't want to get married, they don't want children, and most of all, they don't want to take care of another grown child at home. While the government ramps up efforts to reverse the country's population decline, an entire generation seems to be heading in the opposite direction. Do you know why so many girls don't want to get married today? Because they don't want to take in another ancestor to care for. They already have a home, a car, savings. What do they need a man for? Are they missing a father? Many men want a woman to care for them like a mother, but don't even act like obedient sons. They want a submissive wife, like a daughter, yet they can't even be protective husbands or fathers. Some women have made up their minds. I don't want to get married. At this point, I have zero desire to start a family or have kids. I'm just too happy on my own. Why marry? Just to fill my life with family drama? No thanks. I'm free. I work when I want, rest when I need to, travel on a whim, and buy whatever I like. Despite the Chinese government's campaigns to promote marriage and childbirth, official statistics paint a very different picture. In 2024, the number of marriage registrations in China hit its lowest level in half a century. In just 10 years, the number of couples getting married has been cut in half. In my city, more and more young women are choosing to stay single. Why? Because young people today are living for themselves. No one wants to give in to family pressure and end up with someone they don't love. And honestly, many women today are more successful than men. They know how to earn money, take care of themselves, and live independently. Social media is flooded with so-called maternal persuasion campaigns, but for many women, they feel more like threats than encouragement. I'm 32. You think I don't want kids? Of course I do. I'd even consider having them alone, but I can't afford it. Do you know how expensive raising a baby is? From diapers to formula, it costs more than it does for adults. Then there's tutoring, summer camps, educational trips. And on top of that, you have to drop them off, pick them up, help with homework. When exactly am I supposed to work? What's most surprising is no longer that people born in the 1990s don't want kids, or that Gen Z doesn't want marriage. It's that many born in the 1980s now tell their own children not to go through it either, especially since the revised civil code that took effect this past Lunar New Year. Many have begun expressing openly that they want no part in marriage. Today, even if you're an amazing cook, keep a spotless home, and break your back raising kids. If you don't contribute financially, after divorce, you walk away with nothing. But what if you don't marry or have kids and one day you faint alone at home? That question doesn't apply to someone like me, because if you're married and a mother, you're not allowed to faint. Who'll cook? Who'll clean? Who'll pick up the kid? Who'll help with homework? If you're already married, already a mom, you're not allowed to collapse. If you feel faint, you better slap yourself and get back up. As China's political and economic environment grows more uncertain, more young people are choosing to stay single. According to official data released by the Ministry of Civil Affairs on February 8, 2024, only 6.1 million marriages were registered across the country, marking one of the lowest figures in 50 years. That's a 20.5% drop from 2023, when there were 7.68 million marriages. At the same time, divorces rose slightly to 2.62 million cases, a 1.1% increase over the previous year. This double phenomenon, fewer marriages and more divorces, has triggered alarms within the Chinese government, which has been implementing policies for years to boost birth rates and stabilize family structures in the face of an impending demographic crisis. Yet these strategies seem to clash with a new mindset. Young people, especially women, are prioritizing independence, financial security, and personal freedom more than ever. And with high living costs, job insecurity, unaffordable housing, and the intense pressure of raising children in competitive urban environments, many are questioning whether marriage is even a viable or desirable path. Some experts now describe this as a silent cultural transformation, where the traditional ideal of marriage as life's ultimate goal is losing ground to new models of self-fulfillment. Beyond cold statistics, personal stories reveal a far more complex and painful reality. Women with high levels of education, financial independence, and stable careers face a paradox. The more they achieve, the narrower their chances in the dating market become. In a society that still prizes female youth over merit, many are discovering that being an excellent woman doesn't necessarily make you a good candidate for marriage. I'm 33, I have a master's degree, I'm a single woman of good quality and advanced age. I never worried much about finding a partner, but dating made me realize that people only look at age and physical health. If I meet someone now, at 33, I'd have to give birth at 35. I'd already be considered an older mother, says a woman in a viral video that has triggered thousands of reactions on Chinese social media. Despite her education, financial stability, and willingness to meet people, she explains she's regularly rejected, first by a man just a few years younger, and then by a 40-year-old who simply stopped replying after a brief chat. Her emotional frustration is palpable. It's Saturday. I spent the whole day lying on the floor of my rented apartment, not knowing what to do. I used to enjoy going out and socializing, but now I don't even feel like moving. In this context, one inevitable question arises. What's happening in China's dating scene? The answer isn't simple, and certainly not optimistic. A well-known matchmaker on social media puts it bluntly. The younger the generation, the more relaxed their expectations. Girls born in the 2000s are revolutionizing the marriage market. Take a 21-year-old woman born in 2003 who shared her views on marriage with striking clarity. She doesn't demand a high dowry or even a car or a house. She believes spending hundreds of thousands on an apartment is a lifelong trap, and that owning a car is a waste compared to just taking taxis. Better an older man with emotional stability than a young guy with no directions. In contrast, women from earlier generations are left unsettled. Now, competition isn't just about beauty or social status. It's about fundamentally different expectations. And frustration grows when these expectations clash with reality. Women who've spent years pursuing education and professional success still can't find a partner. Not because they lack value, but because they no longer meet traditional standards of youth or fertility. A 36-year-old woman told me she didn't have many requirements, just mutual love. But when I asked if she'd accept a man without a home or car, she hesitated. She said, "At my age, if a man still doesn't have those things, then something must be wrong with him." Same goes for salary, height, looks. In the end, she had a long list of requirements. The conversation then touches on sensitive topics. Would she accept a divorced man with children? Her answer was a firm no. At that point, the matchmaker made a controversial but widely discussed points. Single women of advanced age are not innocent victims. Often, they remain single because their standards are still too high. Meanwhile, in big cities like Shanghai and Guangzhou, the traditional marriage model is changing. In these modern metropolises, more and more families are doing away with the old dowry system. Women, often only children, don't demand extravagant gifts, and their parents don't meddle in the marriage. In many cases, they even offer financial support to help the couple. As one viral blogger put it, Shanghai girls may be a little spoiled and not very into housework, but they know how to manage a household, invest smartly, and set boundaries. They're life partners, not burdens. And while many women struggle to find a balance between independence and social expectations, the economic instability in major cities like Shanghai only worsens the situation. A wave of layoffs, pay cuts, and despair is shaking the lives of millions across China. What was once considered a stable job, the famous iron rice bowl, is now crumbling amid a growing economic crisis. Official figures paint a worrying picture, but it's the personal testimonies that reveal just how deep the problem really goes. I'm 29. I got laid off. I'm unemployed now. I graduated in 2019, worked hard in Shanghai, and earned 400,000 yuan a year. In 2023, I moved to Changsha, where I made 240,000. I really thought I was competent, but still, they fired me. They gave me the notice 2 days before the Dragon Boat Festival. My mind went blank. I couldn't even speak. I asked for the afternoon off. That afternoon, I sat on an iron bench in front of a Starbucks. I sat there for hours, just blank, not even sure what I was thinking. Then I spent several days negotiating severance with HR. We finally reached a deal, and I chose June 6th as my last day. Right now, I'm in my car, waiting out my final shift. Tomorrow, I'll be officially jobless. I have no idea what to do next. Isn't this kind of thing supposed to happen during a midlife crisis? I haven't even hit 30. In recent years, China's economy has shown consistent signs of slowing. Unemployment is rising, and even the supposedly secure public sector jobs are seeing dramatic salary cuts. The iron rice bowl, once a symbol of lifelong job security, is beginning to crack. Newly established salary reduction offices in major provinces like Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai confirm this grim trend. Residents report that public servants have seen their incomes slashed by as much as 50%, and many won't receive year-end bonuses. This reflects a growing fiscal crisis in local governments across the country. Have you noticed? Government workers in Shanghai used to be the envy of everyone. It was a dream job, a lifetime of stability, no worries. Now, many earn just 7,000 or 8,000 yuan per month. They still have elderly parents to support, small kids, mortgages, car loans. That income barely covers household expenses, if it even does. On June 14th, a viral post on Chinese social media made waves. It's reported that salary reduction offices have been set up in Jiangsu, Zhejiang, and Shanghai. Mid-level salaries in Shanghai have dropped from 350,000 to 200,000 yuan per year. The article claims a mid-level official in Shanghai saw a 150,000 yuan pay cut. Lower-level employees went from 240,000 to 150,000 yuan per year. The cuts mainly affect performance bonuses and are tied to declining tax revenue. The fact that the China Railway Engineering Bureau stopped paying performance bonuses was shocking. They used to run huge, well-paid infrastructure projects. Now they only pay base salaries. In Shanghai, you can't survive on 3,000 yuan a month. That's not even enough for basics. Honestly, I wasn't surprised. Back in May, people were already talking about payment delays in other divisions of China construction. A friend in the industry told me their salaries were coming late. Who's behind the delays? You figure it out. But it's clear the collapse of the real estate sector has wrecked the construction industry. I interned at a company and worked literally every minute of every day. Even after hours, I had to reply to messages and handle tasks. With all that pressure, last month, I got paid only 996 yuan. At the start, HR told me the pay would be between 1,200 and 1,500 yuan. Since it was a humanities internship, I didn't expect much, just wanted the experience. But the workload was brutal. I thought I'd wait for my first paycheck before asking for a raise. But when I saw they only gave me 996, I was speechless. The combination of layoffs, salary cuts, and a bleak job outlook is now hitting not just the middle class, but also young professionals across key sectors. As China's growth model faces increasing pressure, the impact on everyday life is becoming harder to ignore. Is this just a temporary economic adjustment, or the start of a deeper structural shift in China's labor system? Only time will tell.